From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Daryl Clark. Stephanie Woodard has the evening off. Our top story, a motion for a change of representation was denied in court today for 27-year-old Christopher Sadowski. Sadowski, who is accused of murdering his 4-year-old son, was brought to court by the state to disqualify his present attorneys. The state argued that Sadowski's lawyer is conflicted because he represents another party in the case. Sadowski had called the troopers on May 5th for his son, who was reported to be unresponsive. The youngster reportedly died of blunt force trauma. Sadowski is charged with a single count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of murder in the second degree. The second suspect in a drive-by shooting in Shannon Park last month was extradited back to Alaska from Tennessee on 4 charges of assault and weapons misconduct and also 1 count of escape. 18-year-old James Allen of Fairbanks appeared in Superior Court today for allegedly shooting a firearm from a vehicle at a dwelling on Draws Drive last month. The 5 charges he faces are all felonies. United States Marshals apprehended Allen in Nashville, Tennessee a few weeks after the drive-by shooting based off a grand jury indictment. The state alleges that Allen was an accomplice to Christopher de la Merced Jr., who is also suspected of being involved in the shooting incident. Allen pleaded not guilty to the charges. Well, staff with the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission will begin additional public scoping meetings in 5 Alaska communities relating to the Alaska LNG project. The meetings are in preparation for the environmental impact statement for the project. They were scheduled for Coldfoot and Healy tonight and Tyonek and Nenana Wednesday night. On Thursday, the meetings moved to Anchorage and here in Fairbanks at the Morris Thompson Cultural and Visitors Center. Staff will answer questions from the public starting at 5, with the meeting beginning at 6. The Alaska Legislature recently approved a $157 million state buyout of TransCanada's interest in the project that includes 800 miles of pipe, a gas treatment facility on the North Slope, and a liquefaction plant in South Central. The scoping meetings are designed to give Alaska residents a say in shaping the project.
We are investigating and determining where the best place to put all of those facilities are, and also trying to understand what Alaskans and local community members feel about our proposed project, get their input on our proposed facilities, and then adjust our project accordingly. So we're at the really early preliminary stages of the project where we can take this feedback and actually have it impact the way our project looks and feels going forward.
Nowadays, it may seem like many projects are either delayed or stopped in their tracks due to regulations and other forms of red tape here in Alaska and throughout the United States. Today at the weekly Chamber of Commerce luncheon, the guest speaker from the United States Chamber of Commerce spoke to the audience of business leaders, reiterating how regulations have prevented many projects from moving forward. The official went on to say that federal agencies must find a way to the proper research and consider the implications have on proposed projects. He also commented that the solution is to enact the Regulatory Accountability Act.
Well, the main goal was to try to talk about the regulatory system in very practical terms so that people have a deep appreciation of how much the regulatory system impacts their life and really how much it impacts how a government operates. Okay, one is the Regulatory Accountability Act, which for the very largest regulations, the agencies actually have to do their homework. If they're going to legislate like Congress, then they actually have to do their homework and find a consensus.
When we come back, lately there has been a lot of confusion on new mammogram guidelines. Monty Bowen will talk to an official in hopes of clearing things up. Locally, churches are pooling their efforts to fill show boxes filled with necessities for kids worldwide as part of global effort. These stories and more when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. Last month, the American Cancer Society revised its mammogram guidelines, and now there is a fair amount of confusion about when and how often women should have the checkup done. Monty Bowen talked with a local provider who is working to inform the public about it in this week's Health Report.
Well, you know, a lot of patients in the community have questions about which one of these guidelines should they follow and why are these changes happening, why are these recommendations or guidelines, I guess, why have they changed and how it affects them.
About a year ago, the federal government's preventative task force looked at some possible new recommendations.
I'm not sure what their true motives were, if this was tried to save some money on Medicare's side or what. Anyhow, they came out with a different recommendation, which was every 2 years to do mammograms, and even then it was somewhat limited and changed. It wasn't just right at 40 years old.
Currently, 6 different groups in the U.S. recommend women start getting mammograms at 3 different ages. In the past, the American Cancer Society, the American College of Radiology, and the Society of Breast Imaging were all on the same page. A month ago, the Cancer Society changed its recommendations.
So the American Cancer Society now is recommending that from the age of 40 to 44, that women have the opportunity to have a mammogram, but it's not required. From 45 to 54, they recommend yearly mammogram imaging, and after that, then it's every other year.
One of the reasons for the changes are concerns that too many tests are being given when they are not needed.
And are we overdiagnosing patients with cancer? And the American Cancer Society wanted to address that. Are we actually calling things cancer that technically weren't cancer?
When women reach the recommended age for a mammogram, they should first talk with their primary care physician. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Health Report is brought to you by the Ear, Nose, and Throat Clinic, located in the Medical Dental Arts Building, and by Interior Women's Health, located on 1626 30th Avenue.
Almost 900 shoeboxes are already lining the halls of local churches, taking part in Operation Christmas Child. The drive is run by the organization Samaritan's Purse. It asks community members to donate gift packages to kids in need across the world. People fill their boxes with school supplies, hygiene items, toys, and even shoes. National Collection Week for the event is set to wrap up next Monday. Donations can be dropped off in Fairbanks at the First Baptist Church downtown during the day or at the University Community Presbyterian Church at night. The Interior and Northern Alaska wing of Operation Christmas Child is setting its goal at 4,000 shoeboxes. Area Coordinator Ellen Leach says boxes collected in Fairbanks will begin their global journey next Tuesday.
We collect it here, and then we send it down to California, and from there it's processed and then sent to needy children around the world, like those who have experienced natural disaster or in war or things like that. And the ones from this area actually end up going usually to the Philippines, Peru. This year they're going to Indonesia also. And so we just give them to the needy children, and with it we present the gospel.
This Saturday, several nonprofits will be hosting a boardroom training workshop with a nationally recognized boardroom consultant. This seminar is taught by Simone Joyex, who specializes in fund development, strategic planning, and government development. She has worked in the nonprofit industry since 1975 and has helped more than 500 organizations nationwide. She also chairs several boards in the lower 48. The United Way of the Tanana Valley Executive Director Bill Wright says people can sign up for the event online at unitedwaytv.com. Wright adds the primary focus of the seminar is to educate people interested in participating in the local government.
It will be for existing board members, but it's also for people that have not served on boards and they have an interest in becoming a board member. So if you're an individual that wants to serve the community in this capacity, this would be the workshop to come and find out what it's all about.
All right, in sports, a West Valley standout signs on to a D1 program today. Also in the Nanook Corner, find out how Megan Olson doesn't let diabetes stop her from playing volleyball for UAF. Those stories next after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here with your local Tuesday Sportscast. We'll have a special Nanook Corner coming up in a bit, but first we go to West Valley High School. Today, West Valley basketball star Ruthie Hebert signed her national letter of intent to play for the University of Oregon. She committed to Oregon back on August 7th and signed during the early signing period today. The two-time Alaska Gatorade Player of the Year is the fourth woman from Fairbanks to sign to a Division I program in over a decade. She's also the fifth Alaskan to go to the Pac-12 for women's hoops. The number 8 forward in the 2016 class has grandparents in Oregon as well. Hebert joins 5 other players in a recruiting class ranked 6th in the nation for second-year head coach Kelly Graves. This versatile player is finally a Duck after deciding between 81 D1 schools, but now her focus shifts to the court.
I'm a lot more relieved now, just so I know I can play basketball, and we're going to handle some unfinished business at state, and we're going to show the Alaska we can do. When I went to Oregon, I just felt like part of the family already, And Coach Mark is someone I trust. Like, he recruited me really heavily, and just everything he said I believed, and that's how I kind of picked that. I know this is the right fit for me, so signing piece of paper and committing myself to like Coach Graves and Coach Mark, it's really exciting, and I'm really excited for next year.
And now the Nanook Corner. Tonight you'll meet a player who is productive on and off the court like any other student athlete at UAF, except she does it while living with diabetes. Here's more on Megan Olson.
Before volleyball games and practices, UAF's Megan Olson has a different routine than most student athletes. Olson is always checking her blood levels because she is diabetic.
In 2002, in October, and I remember my mom just thought that I was kind of acting weird. I had weird symptoms like drinking a lot, and so she took me in and they did some tests, and I remember the doctor came in and they told us, and they were like, she has diabetes. Me and my mom both just started crying. We don't know what that means. Like, I had no idea what it was, but I guess I never looked at it as like a negative thing.
Olson's teammates and Alaska's training staff help keep track of her levels during games and practices. She pricks her finger numerous times throughout the day. Her prime readings for games are anywhere from 100 to 199.
It affects me like physically and mentally, like in practice, because it's with your nerves, and like it affects everything, like your vision, your reaction time, your process time.
If she's high, her insulin pump brings her down. If she's low, she needs a pick-me-up.
Before heading into a practice or a game, Megan has her own batch of Powerade, but her Powerade is 5 times stronger than what you get at the store.
And everybody can tell if I've had it because it turns my whole mouth blue. And the girls think it's pretty funny.
That drink gives her a much-needed boost, just like she energizes the Nanooks. Olson's condition has made those around her more educated about diabetes. It's helped them become better at what they do.
And she's great about communicating, and in turn it helps you become a better communicator on the other end too. And so that's one of the biggest things that she does, is she allows us to be good communicators about that, and it translates to other areas too. So
I think it's just an educational standpoint. She can be a great spokesman about it, and that you can be in athletics and you can be active and you can be outgoing with diabetes.
Jordan Furlan is Megan's teammate, roommate, and good friend. The upside of having diabetes is that people can keep track of you.
The part where she checks her blood sugar, and we find those everywhere, all over the house, and like, oh, Meg's been here, because she's got little strips everywhere. For me, that's like so amazing to see that somebody can do that, you know, because I honestly could not go through that. She just deals with it so well, and I think it's super inspiring to me and as well as everyone on the team.
Olson is already becoming a role model for rising diabetic athletes in Alaska.
We did a camp in Talkeetna a couple years ago, and I remember there was a girl there who had diabetes, and I got to talk to her for a little bit, and it was really cool because she was kind of asking like the hardships that I have to go through. So that was really cool to be able to like advocate for younger people, because I never had anybody like that when I was growing up. There was just no athletes, I guess, in town that had it. So I think it's cool to be able to like educate people and help in any way that I can.
Nanook Corner, brought to you by Sports Medicine Fairbanks.
Olson also has a 3.5 GPA in criminal justice and has posted career highs in digs and sets played this year. You can watch Olson and the Nooks as they host Western Oregon on Thursday night and Concordia on Saturday for their last matches of the year. Both games are at 7 o'clock. And that's it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about the weather. And today was just kind of an ugly day. We had clouds and light snow throughout the day. Temperatures cold. We're looking at one more day of cold temperatures. Then things start getting a little more interesting. A little warmer weather on the horizon. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. Our photograph tonight, this one's sent in by Larry Moen. Winter ice crystals. This is what they call hoarfrost, and it's H-O-A-R, and it's really an interesting thing that happens here in our climate here. And as you can see, it reflects the sunshine, and beautiful. Gosh, those ice crystals are gorgeous, aren't they? And as always, if you have a photograph to share, by all means send it to photos@ktvf11.com. And speaking of photos, our Fab Photo Calendar is out. It's free, and you can pick it up at places like Miguel's and Kindle Auto, and also West Valley Vision Center. So all those places, in addition to many or other ones that you can find on our website, I should say, webcenter11.com, under the lifestyle section, and you can pick them up there, and they make great stocking stuffers. All right, here's your numbers for today. 7 degrees below zero for the high. The low last night, 11 below. Still a little bit of light snow falling. Record high 41 in 1916, turned around to 41 below in 2011 for the record low. Our sunrise and sunset about 6 hours and 5 minutes, a loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. And on the satellite and radar, you can see a little bit of activity moving across southeast Alaska, and they're looking at actually a pretty good opportunity for a lot of snow to fall from this moisture that's moving in right now. 4 to 7 inches expected around the Juneau area tonight and again tomorrow. Over to the west, looking at a little more cloudiness moving in on the west coast, and also that is expected to move into the Anchorage Bowl area. Now, as far as what's going on into the interior, zoom in, you'll see we're looking at just a few scattered areas of light snow here and there, but nothing really organized. And as far as the overall state, you can see over southeast Alaska, a little snow falling at Ketchikan even, with the light snow at Juneau. Another cold day in Anchorage, cloudy and snowy conditions at Kodiak, cloudy skies along the Aleutian Chain. Temperatures pretty chilly up and down the west coast, and 4 degrees below zero at Barrow with 1 degree above at Fort Yukon. Lower 48 weather, where we were talking about this storm last night. This is a monster. This brought tornadoes and heavy snow, almost a foot of snow in Denver. It's moving rapidly to the east, but still a lot of powerful thunderstorms out ahead of this system, clashing with the warm, humid air in front of it. And another system moving across the Pacific Northwest, bringing more rain and snow to those areas. And as far as the flood threat for tonight and tomorrow night, blinding downpours, road closures, and flight delays with, of course, gusty winds all over the deep south. That will continue. And the jet stream will continue to help foster that situation because it is not moving a whole lot. Once again, a big dive down to the south, helping to create all that weather. Okay, time once again for our kids' weather. And this week, we're talking with the kids from Nordale Elementary School. And tonight, we have another picture to share with you.
Hi, my name is Alexandra, and I'm in a 5th and 6th grade classroom from Nordale Elementary. And this is my picture of weather. I drew it because when I was in California, once I got out from a store with my grandma, it was lightning everywhere. We were scared, but my grandpa came to pick us up and took us home. But there was a lot of lightning, and purple lightning struck in front of the road.
Thanks, Alex, for that picture, and thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. Tomorrow night, a young man will be here with a question regarding lightning bolts. Here's your forecast for the Alaska area for northern sections, flurries and fog for Barrow and also Fort Yukon, mostly cloudy skies in Nome. Here in the interior, looking at, once again, light snow showers at Fairbanks and Delta Junction with cloudy skies for Healy. There's the heavy snow I was telling you about over southeast Alaska, more expected in the Juneau region, and rain and snow in Ketchikan. Over to the southwest, we're looking at rain and snow for Cold Bay and Kodiak, snow in Bethel, basically possibly 2 to 5 inches of snow there. And over the south central regions around the Anchorage Bowl, mainly just cloudy skies at Anchorage, but snow developing by tomorrow night and continuing into Thursday, the way it looks like right now, and snow likely for Homer by afternoon. And our forecast for the remainder of the night, looking at a high wind watch to remind you about tomorrow, developing for the folks in Healy and Delta Junction. Gusts to 70 miles per hour developing by Thursday, so keep that in mind. And there's our forecast, 12 degrees below zero for the overnight low, cloudy and cold, periods of light snow, no accumulation expected. Tomorrow continue cold and cloudy with more scattered snow showers, but the extended forecast, Joe's going to love this when he sees it, Friday, the high 20 degrees above. That's because the winds are going to be coming in from the south. When they come in from the south, they bring in warmer temperatures, so the cold snap will be over after tonight. And we're looking at a possibility of snow in the picture for Friday and Saturday, with overnight lows also once again warming up to only 10 degrees below zero. Look at Joe, he's happy about that.
Fist pumping, yes, yes. 20 above in, what is this, November already?
Yeah.
Like, I'll take
weather.
that.
Shorts weather, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, sounds good for the next couple of days, Mike. All right, thanks. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Well, tonight on NBC Nightly News, the Russians have admitted that it was a homemade bomb that brought the passenger plane down over Egypt. Lester Holt is up next with more on that.
Be sure and join us tomorrow morning with J.R. Lewis during the Today Show for more news updates and school bus changes.
All right, from all of us here at the News Center, have a great night. We'll see you back at 11.
Good night.